welcome to another Team CGC 9.8 video. Today's video is an unbox video, and I'm really excited about this unbox. I really like this issue. It's kind of an underappreciated issue with a really cool cover, I think. And, you know, it's a cover that when I saw it kind of the first time, I almost immediately wanted this comic book. And an underappreciated issue. It's from 1999. As the title says, it's Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 120. So this is first Batgirl in her costume. Let me get this thing open. I don't want to damage the book at all. So first new Batgirl in her costume, and it's also Huntress revealed as Batgirl in this storyline too. But again, like, really cool cover. So I'm hoping everything works out. Packaging looks pretty good. One of those kind of USPS medium priority mail flat rate things. Yeah, I got some CGC information we can go through too, because another thing that's pretty cool about this book is that it's quite rare on the CGC census. Being a 1999 book, this is kind of the... Oh, I'm going to get beads everywhere. It's unavoidable. This being a 1999 book, you know, that's kind of when that comic book recession was kind of going on. So, yeah, during this time, there's less collectors and less prints. So, yeah, there's actually, I think this is kind of a really underappreciated area to collecting because of the, you know, low number amounts on the CGC census, as we'll see in the CGC 9.8s. Compared to, like, you know, books that have come out in the last, like, 4 or 5 years, some of those first appearances in CGC 9.8s have, like, over 1,000 copies of them. Whereas in the late 90s, like this book in 1999, yeah, well, there's only 62 on the CGC census in the blue label. So we'll look at that a bit closer detail. Get it out, show you that cover. Because, yeah, this could be a book that a lot of people probably never even saw because it's not like a Batman or a detective comic. And a lot of times, like, you just kind of go to those go-to if you're a Batman fan and, you know, look at the cool comics out of the detectives and Batman, and there's so many, so. But some of these offshoots of Batman, like Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, you don't really think about too much, so. But again, I really like this cover. I'll show you if you guys haven't seen it. There's another issue too that's somewhat related to this one. We'll kind of talk about that. Let's see here. Okay, got a nice receipt. Alright. Yeah. Got a little bit of Newton rings on it, but not too bad. I don't really care about that anymore. Really. Get it out of the package here. Alright, check it out. Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, number 120. So Huntress is revealed as Batgirl, and this is the first Batgirl in her costume. The other issue that's related to this one is Batman 567. That's first Cassandra Cain, first new Batgirl. Yeah, and you know what? That's probably one I'll kind of keep on the lookout. You know me, I like to have kind of pairs of issues, so, you know, once I get one, I almost always want to get the other one. But yeah, let's just take a look at it, because it's the first time I'm seeing it, so. Okay. Let's just kind of look at the CGC case first. Looks good. Yeah, the case looks quite flawless. Some Newton rings in the middle. I would say probably a little bit more than normal. And they're probably not coming through on the camera, but I really love the spine on this because some of these, like, 90s books, the spine can be somewhat frayed, even though it's still a 9.8. It's basically a manufacturing defect. This one doesn't have that, though. This is, like, legit. Higher end CGC 9.8. But yeah, take a look at that cover. Like, you got Batman, Nightwing, new Batgirl right here, Robin, and Batwoman, I believe that is. So really cool, like, montage cover, I think. And yeah, so, you know, check out the CGC census here really quick. There's 62 of these in the blue label in the CGC 9.8. So a 1 of 62. That is pretty great whenever you can get some type of first appearance or first of anything with a really cool cover. Under 100 limited numbers, I think that's a really cool thing. And in the late 90s, you know, from 95 to kind of 2000, early 2000s, there's a lot of books in there like that that are quite old at this time. Like, you know, it's getting over to 20 years old. But yeah, again, only 62 of these. That's pretty amazing to me. Looking at the CGC 9.8 ratio, it's 66%, and that's really high, and it's almost expected. I mean, these books that are going to be out there, they're probably going to be in really good shape. If someone's going to CGC them, they probably kept them in a bag and board. By this time, collecting was quite popular, so yeah, a low CGC ratio is hard to come by in late 90s, thousands books, whereas in 80s it really means a lot, because if it's super low, like an Amazing Spider-Man 300, the books are crazy expensive in a CGC 9.8. So this one, higher CGC 9.8 ratio, but only 62 on the census, so it's kind of a bit of a trade-off, but that's kind of how modern books go, I would say. Let's talk about price here, because for me this was, kind of an opportunistic buy. It's not something that I was really super hunting for, but I've seen these pop up periodically for, $220, $230, $250, people trying to sell them. I've seen some sell over $200 as well. A lot of times they'll sell a little bit under for like in the $180 range. But this one popped up for $119 from a seller. Shipping was reasonable to Canada. It was kind of maybe $10 more than I wanted to spend on shipping, but pretty reasonable. So yeah, $119 for this. Thought it was a good deal. I looked up some completed listings. Most of them were closer to 2, some of them over 2. Looked at the seller's description, and he said, hey, this is very well competitively priced and this and that, because every now and then you come across that on a buy it now is a buy it now on a good book that it's a very competitive price because someone just wants the money really quick or something like that, and that's basically what this kind of buy was. So Batman Legends of the Dark Knight 120, $119 American. I think that's a pretty great buy for this book that only has 62 of them, and Cassandra Cain possibly could be in this Birds of Prey movie. That's sort of a rumor going around. And again, yeah, the Batman 567, which is first new Batgirl Cassandra Cain, kind of goes with this book, and I'm on the lookout for that. It's if something good pops up. Yeah, I really like this cover though. I just love covers with really nice colors and a lot of detail. And yeah, so I think since you have all the heroes on that cover, you got a lot of great colors, and Batman looks really cool, and even the colors on the No Man's Land graphic kind of blends in with the colorful cover. But yeah, great cover. And 90s books, yeah, you know what, like I like late 90s books, let's say, because early 90s it's the opposite problem. They were so well printed, that was like the peak of the comic book bubble. Late 90s books like this one, 1999, a lot of cool books in there that I think have a lot less on the CGC census for like the demand of the book. Another book that is in this category, I would say, is Batman Beyond #1, CGC 9.8. There's like 140 of those, I think, or something like that. First appearance of Batman Beyond, first appearance of Terry McGinnis. Like, you'd think that there should be like 500 or 600 of those. Similar story to this, a little bit more underappreciated, I would say, than Batman Beyond, but only 62 for a first new Batgirl in costume. And the Cassandra Cain one, actually, I did not look on the CGC census this morning for that, but I would assume there's probably like 200 and something of those or something like that would be my guess, but that's a little bit more of a popular book and the first appearance of new Batgirl Cassandra Cain, so a little bit more popular that one. And again, keep an eye out on that. I saw one of those sell for like $189, I think it was, $179 maybe. A Batman 567. So $119 for this, I think, is a pretty good price. You might get maybe a little bit cheaper if you find it on a kind of a obscure auction or something like that, but I think that's a good price. And yeah, Batman 567, $189, I think $179 is a good price, and I think I'm gonna try and hunt that one down just to get these as a nice pair. Okay, so I love Batman. Glad I could kind of unbox this and show you guys. If you haven't already, please join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. And yeah, as soon as you hit the subscribe, the bell will show up. If you hit the bell, get all our latest notifications for the videos. And I'm actively buying CGC 9.8 books and thinking of videos to share with you guys to help everyone, be a better purchaser of CGC 9.8 books. And I like those 80s and 90s books, and mostly, and sometimes in the thousands and modern too. But got a little bit of everything here, so if you subscribe, that would be so much appreciated. I think that'll be all for this video, though. Thanks for joining us on this unbox, and I'll see you on the next one.